Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, July 21st. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. Today, you can expect cloudy skies, possible rain, and a high of about 96 in San Antonio. We're keeping an eye on the Gulf of Mexico, where a tropical disturbance may produce scattered thunderstorms this weekend, according to the National Weather Service. On Tuesday, Bexar County officials said they saw 12 more deaths of people with novel coronavirus and 551 new cases as the disease continued its unrelenting assault on the San Antonio region. COVID-19 is changing the plans for high school football in Texas. The UIL said Tuesday it was delaying the start of football and volleyball seasons in classes 5A and 6A, but that the dates for fall sports in classes below 5A will remain the same. The UIL also announced restrictions to the basketball schedule, which affects at least one ambitious area team's plans. And now, let's move on to the top stories of the day. You can find links to all these articles in the episode's description. Matthew and Jessica Checketts had reason to think all was well as they welcomed their sixth child into the world. The births of their 5 other kids had gone smoothly. Several were delivered at home. But an undiagnosed breech birth caused their newborn to suffer a severe loss of oxygen. EMS resuscitated her at the Check's home in northwest San Antonio, but 2 days later the baby died. The Checketts then learned that Pentagon leave policy required him to go back to work at Joint Base San Antonio Lackland immediately after his infant daughter died. A bipartisan effort in Congress, including a bill named for the baby, Elaine, would change that. Sig Christensen tells the Checketts story of grief and faith. As many as 500 women who were represented by a disgraced, now-imprisoned San Antonio attorney could have their convictions overturned as Bexar County prosecutors review their cases with the help of the Public Defender's Office. 50-year-old Benavides was convicted in 2018 of 6 counts of human trafficking and coercing his clients to have sex with him. He threatened that if they did not, he would withhold legal services, sabotage their cases, and make sure they went to prison. So far, 2 women represented by Benavides have had their convictions overturned and their records expunged. Both told their stories to the Express News on conditions that their names not be published. Their accounts paint a harrowing picture of how the justice system went awry in their cases. You can also check out an episode of the In-Depth podcast where I interview Elizabeth Zavala about this story. You can find a link to that podcast in this episode's description. The wail of bagpipes and beating drums signaled the start of a memorial service for San Antonio's first law enforcement officer to die as a result of the novel coronavirus. A somber procession for Bexar County Sheriff's Deputy Timothy de la Fuente made its way Tuesday morning from Mission Park Funeral Chapel South to Community Bible Church on the north side for a ceremony with full honors. More than 100 people gathered inside the sanctuary to celebrate the life of the 27-year-old veteran who was remembered as a fun-loving, devoted husband and dedicated law enforcement officer. Vincent T. Davis brings you the sights and sounds from the service. Columnist Gilbert Garcia writes, quote, "The coronavirus pandemic created the possibility that voters would soon be presented with 3 sales tax items: pre-K, public transit, and economic recovery, and only enough sales tax capacity to cover 2 of them. Given those fears, it was a relief to learn the last week that Nirenberg and VIA reps, with diplomatic assistance from former Mayor Henry Cisneros, worked out a deal which will enable the mayor to go forward with his workforce development package while committing to hand over the 1/8 cent sales tax to VIA after 3 years if the voters approve the arrangement. You can find a closer look at what the deal means for everyone involved at the link in the episode's description. To keep our readers up to date on the path of COVID-19, the Express News built a dashboard of interactive graphics showing the spread of the virus in the San Antonio area, in Texas as a whole, and across the United States. You can find a link to that dashboard in the episode's description. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside your Express News subscription. The San Antonio Symphony has scrapped the first half of its 2021 season, going dark until at least February because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The San Antonio water system is denying claims by the Post Oak Savannah Groundwater Conservation District that Vista Ridge water was wasted in Bexar County. Texas Supreme Court Justice Paul Green will retire at the end of August after more than 15 years on the bench. The San Antonio native is the all-Republican court's second most senior justice. Governor Greg Abbott will appoint his successor. United States Representative Joaquin Castro announced his bid to lead the House Foreign Affairs Committee, writing in a post online that he's doing so, quote, with hope of empowering new voices as well as optimism in America's capacity to do good in the world. Under the TEA's modified rules, only high school students will be allowed to have a hybrid of digital and in-person learning. This option needs to be extended to all grade levels, the Express News editorial board writes. Governor Greg Abbott's office labeled Hidalgo County's shelter-at-home order simply a recommendation. The new orders begin Wednesday and remain in effect until August 5th. Members of Republican Governor Greg Abbott's coronavirus strike force have contributed hundreds of thousands of dollars to his re-election campaign as the number of COVID-19 cases and death toll has mounted, records show. 8 Texas Democratic lawmakers are asking for 7 Confederate monuments to be removed from the state capitol complex. A construction worker was airlifted to a hospital after firefighters freed him from a trench Tuesday afternoon. The man, approximately 50 years old, was standing near a 10-foot deep trench in the far west side when the side caved in, officials said. Chances are you're seeing a lot more of the wolf spider while you spend more time at home. This week, take a closer look at that misunderstood arachnid for this week's edition of SA's Common Critters. And now, let's move on to the fun stuff. Chunky's Burgers is offering free meals to anyone in San Antonio. The Callahan Road fixture, known for creating eats like the Four Horsemen, is offering a hand to anyone who needs one with a 1/3 pound burger, fries, and a drink, no questions asked, owner Joey Prado said. The Southtown Juice Bar Squeezers is expanding its fresh, natural approach to fruit and vegetables to a second location near the Pearl this summer. New in home entertainment, the Scooby-Doo Adventure Scoob is now available to watch at home on Blu-ray. You can find what else is new this week in the episode's description. 4 months after offering financial assistance to hospitals in his native Bologna, Italy, Spurs guard Mark Belinelli continues to do his part to stop the spread of COVID-19. In celebration of National Tequila Day on Friday, Taco Cabana customers can get a margarita and a taco for only a few dollars. And that's all for today. This was your Express Briefing. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside your Apple Podcasts app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful day, everyone.